like air and water, something you don't miss.
Unless it is not there.
Don't look at boys. Don't talk to them.
If you do, you'll get a bad name.
You'll never get married.
Stop wearing skirts. You don't show your legs anymore.
You're 12 years old.
Don't go out in the sun too much. You'll get too dark.
No staying at school after 4 o'clock?
Wash your face, hands, and feet before you come in.
No making messes.
No going over to your friends' houses to play.
If they want to play with you, ask them to come over.
After all, we are a more respectable family.
And be on your best behavior.
If I'm playing, I have to be home by 6.
Come back before the lights are turned on.
No laughing out loud and no screaming.
No more going over to your friends' houses to play.
There is not enough of that dish for dinner. Let the father and brothers eat first.
If any are left over, then you can eat.
Don't touch that large piece of fish.
Don't put down your food. Don't stuff your mouth like that.
Don't eat with your left hand.
And don't soil your whole palm when you're eating.
Use the tips of your fingers only.
Can I eat now?
Don't read slouching down. Sit up and let the light come from your left.
And never touch your elders with your feet.
Don't disrespect knowledge.
And no Hindi movies. They're too romantic, too suggestive.
No liking film stars?
You'll be considered a bad girl.
No rock music.
No pictures of rock stars?
You'd be considered a bad girl.
Don't wear your hair loose like that. Keep it tied up.
No.
No outings with friends?
You can be with a bad girl.
No more going over to your friends' houses to play.
Don't talk to boys.
Don't sit next to boys.
No looking at boys.
And you will eat everything.
What if your husband likes cauliflower?
Just because you don't like it, you won't cook it.
Learn to like it.
We will marry you young. Then your husband's family can mold you just the way they want you.
Your mother.
Just want to make sure you're ready to be a good wife.
Change your clothes in the evening and brush your hair.
Look at you. Who'll marry you?
I hated her then. Early in the morning, before sunrise, she began her reign on the household. She would stand by the gate, watching the milkman milk the water buffalo to make sure he didn't add any water to the milk. She woke up a little earlier every morning, just so that she could blame my mother for waking up late. Amma hated her. My father, Appa, strong and powerful personality, was totally terrified of her. She'd never wanted my father to get married. And when he did, she had attended his wedding. She was the boss of the house, my father's mother.
She was widowed at the age of 35, still young and beautiful. She often sulked in a corner, uncommunicative, angry, but very seldom sad. She never went out, and always inched away from anything auspicious or requiring her blessings. She would shriek curses, her palms striking her forehead, crying out to the gods to take her away. We had also wanted her to die, to disappear. When I was about 11, I came home excited to see a new plant I had put in the ground in our new yard, but it had disappeared. My grandmother had thrown it away. It was her choice to plant what she wanted. How I hated her then and wanted to prevent her.
Widow.
My grandmother.
Without her husband, she is nothing.
It is her fault.
She is an outcast, a dependent.
Child brides married at the age of 7 or 8 became virgin widows when their husbands died suddenly.
Beautiful young women whose hair was cut short.
They couldn't remarry. We'd want to use wife, and she's bad luck anyway.
You can recognize them by the way they dress. Hold their plain faces in the sea of happy married faces.
She was cursed. She had no respect.
They stripped of everything.
A ritualized assault to rob a woman of her joy. She couldn't go to her children's weddings. She can't eat with others in the house.
My grandmother.
She must step back during happy family celebrations to avoid bad luck for others.
A red dot on the forehead, bangles, toe rings, anklets, necklaces, earrings, fingertips and toes red with henna, eyes blackened with coal. These are the things that South Indian women hang on to for their lives. Symbols of status and respect. Symbols that scream, my husband is alive and well.
A widow is stripped of everything.
Other women gather around her. With stones, they break her bangles. Well-meaning women remove her jewelry. The dot on her forehead is rubbed off.
If she has an opinion or wants to participate in life, she's in trouble.
To repress her sexual desires, she can't eat onions, garlics, or spices.
She can't eat meat, fish, or even eggs.
All this to make her unattractive to men and to subdue her passion for life.
God forbid she has any desire, even if only for a piece of food.
It was her fate that her husband died. A woman without her husband
Is nothing.
All those long years in India, not for a moment did I pause to think if my grandmother had needs or desires, if there was any reason at all for her behavior. No one did. Now I do. Now I have one thing in common with my grandmother. She was alone, and so am I. My parents see me becoming a dependent, losing respect in society, facing poverty, forfeiting the future of my children. I know what they fear. A woman without her husband is nothing. Tradition forced my grandmother into isolation. She was dependent and she was miserable. I am not. I am free to choose the way I want to live. It's too late for my apologies to benefit her in any way. But I will not allow this to repeat with me or my children.
Choice.
What a sweet sounding word. Like air and water.
something you don't miss.
Unless it is not there. I'm sorry, Grandma, we did not give you this, for it would have made life easier for both of us. Now when I look back after many years and after much distance away from my culture, I'm not sure that I'm very different from my grandmother really. I can see many ways in which I have done exactly what I ought to have done by her standards. Commitments for me become a matter of personal honor. I will bend my back before I break away. I will bend my back even if I bend before I break away. Since when have I learned to live on an island by myself? Since when have I learned this desire to be unconnected? I do know for a fact. I have tried to be both the flying kite